and more or less introduction before we start with the PPF goals. So that's also part of Freedom Entrepreneurship and the piece of where we think about our entrepreneurial mindset. And super happy that you also shared something during lunch, what you experienced and what you needed to overcome, and what every single entrepreneur basically is facing or basically faced. The interesting part, what I personally watched is I saw more entrepreneurs who came up from unfreaking believable hardship situations become tremendously successful compared to trust babies, I guess you mentioned them right yesterday, because they never experienced struggle. Everything was taken care of. There was never the need to take care of themselves financially. It was always already there. And without that, really becoming strong and really becoming super successful, I don't know if it's harder. I never was there. I just know everything what I experienced made me stronger. And a lot of situations or a lot of entrepreneurs, I mean, unbelievable what they experienced. And you shared a little bit on yourself. So a couple of things, what goes into that and what I hear in most situations, also again in coaching. One of the hard or interesting parts, let's call it that way, is how do I stay motivated if I'm not already there? Because it's pretty easy to take a lot of cool pictures and watch all this social media, and I know what I want to get and I know where I want to get, but okay, knowing where I want to go or knowing I want to have the dream life, knowing I want to have a luxury car, a luxury villa, a great life, a great lifestyle, a lot of money where I can travel all the world, to really pushing through and overcoming all these obstacles to really go there in the final place. At least for me, always was a hard time because I'm not a person that can be motivated like that. And most of my life, I did not had something like that. Yeah. So most of the things, I for sure was not surrounded by cool things like that, or I could not live where I wanted to be, could not stay in a place where I wanted to live. So the question is, how can we make sure that we do not lose the energy or track or motivation or our passion along the way? And that's something very personal. The only thing is why I bring it up, everybody needs to find something what is going to help us push through. Maybe like Nico shared, I just have a I don't give a shit mindset anyway, so I don't care anyway at all about nothing. So who gives a fuck? That's fine. I don't know if you heard that at lunch. I would love to have this mindset in a lot of situations because I'm not a person who can say, hey, I don't give a shit. Yeah? If an invoice or if a lawsuit like that ends up in my mail, I have an emotional issue I need to overcome. Yeah? Yeah. Yes. Yes. That's not how I'm wired, though. That's not how I'm wired. Yeah. So there are a lot of different tactics, a lot of different tools out there how you can do it. Just want to share a couple what also helped me personally, and also looking forward maybe what you are doing to stay on track, to keep yourself motivated and to push through. So one of the things is by far that I have a morning routine where I have 45 minutes just for myself. Because guess what? Every single day is something is coming my way, what I did not had planned and what I did not had on my list. And as soon as we start our day as entrepreneurs, we can have the best plan, but all the plans are going to be thrown away over the day of an entrepreneur typically. And I think it's a quote from Mike Tyson or something like that. I always have a plan on how I want to go into the fight until I get punched in the face the first time. Something like that, the quote. Yeah? And it's true. We always have a plan. Hopefully we have a plan. Not always. Hopefully we have a plan of our day. We have a bunch of meetings lined up. We have our priorities lined up. But then the first customer calls or the first email comes in and our plan is actually gone. So the only way I can make sure that I get the stuff for myself in is do it before I actually start the official day. And so that's what I established in my morning routine. And I'm also a true believer that we need to put our personal priorities into routines like that. And for me personally, for example, health is one of my highest priorities, because I always treated health like one of my highest priorities. I always invested tremendous amounts of time, effort, and also money into health. And so that's why I spend a lot of time of my free time and also every time in the morning onto a bunch of health. Whatever is important for you. So everybody, like I said, has own priorities. But you know what is important for you now. And we also know if we do not take care of certain things now, we are going to be punished in the future. And one of the reasons I made priority such a high, I made health such a high priority is I saw so many entrepreneurs becoming highly successful financially or business-wise, but they basically destroyed their health on their journey. Which is sad. Of course, why? Why? Yeah? And then they need to take care of their health the rest of their life. And they suddenly need to focus all their money they generated to fix their health again. Which is not the ideal way on how to have it all. Yeah? Another thing, I think we discussed it very, very thoroughly in the morning, is all these limiting beliefs. I still have some limiting beliefs that are going to hunt me down. I just need to make sure that I am aware when these suckers come around, and I'm going to catch them immediately before they can mess with me or before they can mess with my future. Again, I established routines for myself, so I'm basically a person like you are very, very analytical. I'm a person that's operating on routines. I established so many routines in my daily life for all the areas that are important for me, that I don't need to think about all these things in the morning because it is a routine. One of the things, again, which is for my success and for my mindset and for my health is, I started at a very early stage as an entrepreneur with power naps at lunch. So I really trained my mind and my body with power naps. And what I'm doing, I mean, not in a setting like that, because you did not see me sleeping at lunch, but all the other days, and you can ask Eva, all the other days, I have my lunch routine, I'm doing my power nap, and after my power nap, I actually have a success routine again, like a mini morning routine. And the interesting part is, what happened over time for me is that I'm able to experience every single day as two completely separate days. Because the lunch routine really resets my whole day. And guess what? Does it happen that I have a shit day in the morning? Yes, it does. But my shit day ends at lunch because then I have my break. And after my routine, I completely reset and I completely restart a new day. And there is no way I have a 24-hour shit day. I just established a routine to make sure that whatever comes my way can affect me so much and not more. Yeah. Same again, routine. And you can train yourself on all of these things. So I use a lot of other tools too. For example, with my power naps, I use frequencies. I use colors. I use affirmations. I use breathing exercises. So when you start with things like that, it might be completely overwhelming because you need to do so many different things. No. I give you an example. When I basically do my power naps, I just need to count from 7 to 0. And I'm already on my subconscious level, and I already have my brain waves where they should be, so I can talk to my subconscious mind. And I use colors, like I said, affirmations, like I said, rooms, so a lot of different things. But bottom line, that's just things we can learn. That's just tools we can learn. Like we need to learn on how to use a hammer, or how we use an iPad, or how we use a phone or whatever. Yeah. So that's about these routines. And super happy to share if you're interested in it. I just want to go into any details here. But please, if you have questions around routines, then just ask me. Yeah. And what I just constantly do, I already told you on Monday and on Friday, I have set time off where I don't do meetings. I have reflection questions for my entrepreneurial mindset. Of course, the most important thing for me personally is I need to make sure that my entrepreneurial mindset is in the right lane. And it's not going to be affected by media or social media or a bad week or bad calls, or I get somehow sidetracked. The only way is I need to check it. Again, like our health. If I don't do health check-ins, I don't know what's going on in my body. If I don't take a look at my financial or insurance situation, I don't know what's going on in my business. Yeah, you gave a great example with the dashboard you created in the last couple of months. Now you suddenly know exactly what's going on in your business every single week, every single day, basically in real time. You know what? We should have this type of dashboard also for our entrepreneurial mind, not just for the numbers in business. It's unfortunately not that easy to solve with technology yet, but it would help us to see exactly what's going on. Because if we get sidetracked with bullshit or with negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, we would immediately know, oh, shit, I took the wrong turn. I need to go back, okay? And two more things that helped me tremendously. So one of the 8 buckets, or basically 8 areas of my life wheel is lifelong learning. Of course, I did not have the skills I had now. I could not sell because nobody taught me how to sell. I had no idea on how to recruit. I had no idea on how to speak on a stage. I had no idea on how to put an event together like that. Nobody taught me that. I did not have an education, so I just needed to learn it. And I also know that in 3 years and in 5 years and in 50 years from now, I'm going to need a lot of additional skills that I don't have yet, that I somewhere in the future need to accomplish. So that's why lifelong learning is such an important thing for me personally. Same again, I'm reading every single day in the morning and in the evening. And I'm reading about 30 to 54 books a year. So that's the amount of books what I read annually. Reading books, yeah, not listening. That's just, I read that digitally because traveling with books, okay, but it's still a book what I read and not an ebook what I just listen to. And last thing, before I talk about the PPFs is, we cannot out-hustle entrepreneurial success. So what do I mean with that? Again, especially social media is telling us shortcuts over shortcuts over shortcuts. And we constantly get bombarded with all these crazy things, what other people already have or already accomplished. And so it's very hard to stay on track and not want to find a shortcut. I don't know how you are thinking about shortcuts. I never found one that worked out for me. At the end of the day, it always took me longer if I thought I had a shortcut and I can just somehow cheat the entrepreneurial system and not earn my right to accomplish something in my life or earn the right to get to a certain place. Yeah. So it's a marathon. It's an ultra marathon. It's not a sprint. So we cannot win entrepreneurship when we view it as a sprint. When we view it as an ultra marathon, though, we will always be successful. And what I'm going to share, and just as a reminder, what I talked about, the PPF goals at lunch. I'm using this for myself but also for my team members, for my employees. Why do I do that for my employees? Because in a lot of situations when somebody starts to work for you, at some point there is a mismatch in expectations or in opportunities. And why are so many people seeking for a side gig, for an additional income, for something else, if they probably also could make it in the company where they are already working for? They just don't see a solution, or the employer is not providing a solution for them. And at the end of the day, why is somebody going to work? Because they don't know what to do else in their life? An employee needs money. That's one of the reasons they are going to work. Otherwise, my opinion, most people would not go to work and do this stupid shit what they are doing every single day if they are not going to be paid for it, right? Of course, a lot of people are going to be paid for things they would never ever do if they would not get paid for it. So they come to work to make money. But why do they want to make money? Because yes, of course, they need to pay rent. Yes, of course, they need to pay for their kids a grocery. But at the end of the day, everybody has some kind of dreams, desires, and goals, right? Okay. Guess what's happening? A lot of people make money in their job. They have dreams, but there is never ever enough money or never ever enough opportunity left to do XYZ, what they really want to accomplish. So let's say I want to do an additional education, I want to learn an additional language, I want to travel to Sardinia, or I want to travel to the States, or I want to have my driving license, whatever it is, whatever it is. So the better I understand where my team members want to go, of course for myself anyway, but the better I understand where my team members are going and why they come to work every single day, why they are working for me, what they want to accomplish with the money, the easier for me as a leader it's going to be to lead them and basically help them achieve their goals. Because my personal definition of a great leader is, my purpose is I need to make sure that I help my team members achieve their goals. That's one of my definitions of a great leader. Yeah? Whatever this means, yeah? In business or whatever. And that's the power of these PPF goals. Because you will see on how you personally are going to align them, and basically also what can be done for employees when we are doing this exercise in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, at some point, it always be a situation that people are either leaving or are going to be unhappy. And what is happening with an unhappy employee in your company? They are going to be disengaged, and then they are going to be actively disengaged and hurting your company. And we are going to get rid of this team member way too late because we are all waiting much too long to get rid of not the ideal persons in our organization. Yeah, of course we are just humans and we care for other people. Otherwise, we would not be responsible leaders. And then they are hurting our company and they are leaving anyway. So what's the point? So these PPF goals will make sure that your team members are much more engaged in your business, will massively have a positive impact on turnover and the productivity and the efficiency of the team members. And of course, this all pays into the company culture, what you are doing. So the first major responsibility for us as a business owner is we better make sure to understand finances, understand money, and we better make sure to understand goal setting for ourselves. That's the foundation. And then basically help our team members to tap into that one. Because guess what's happening? If I can basically master the skill for myself to understand money, to get to a point where I know what I need to do. I set a goal, I do what is necessary, I achieve the goal, I set a new goal, I know what to do, I achieve the goal. So I understand goal setting and finances. And when I even am able to teach my team members that, and I can show them a path how they can achieve their personal, professional, financial goals internally in my company, will they ever leave? Will they ever get disengaged? Will they ever mess up on purpose the engagement of the company? No, they don't. Why should they? When I can help them achieve their PPF goals, why should they ever get disengaged? Why should they ever be not motivated? So the impact of these PPF goals is multifold because I do not need to motivate my people anymore. But if I see on how I can achieve my goals and suddenly get closer to my dreams and suddenly accomplish a personal goal, and my employer or my boss helped me, the company I'm working for helped me to achieve that, that has a power what no other employee and retention program, employee engagement program, employee whatever motivation seminar, team building seminar, all these bullshit things. Motivation for the rest of our life, it's an intrinsic and internal thing. It cannot come from the outside. It's like basically pushing a donkey up the hill and hoping the donkey don't turn around, kick you in the face and go down the hill again. But back to the PPF, yeah? So your personal, professional, financial goals. We are just talking about your 1 year goals. Just about your 1 year goals. And we have your personal goals, your professional goals, your financial goals from year number 1. So what do you want to accomplish in year number 1? Personally, professionally, financially. So that goes on a double page or in a spreadsheet. And then basically on the next page, you are doing the 3 year. Again, personal, professional, financial. Yeah? So next double page is 3 years, personal, professional, financial.